Hey people, it's Danny from Conscious Calisthenics here, and today I wanted to give a warning, and that specific warning is about the raw vegan diet and how for many people it causes them to form an unhealthy eating disorder, which you also could say could be called a clean eating disorder. And this type of diet is something that I had a lot of experience with many years ago. I embarked on this diet because I had things such as ulcerative colitis and depression, and yes, at first it did help me resolve a lot of those things, but over a period of time it really started to affect my health in a negative way. And because I had been so brainwashed by dogmatic teachers that are very idealistic and evangelistic teachers, that I just took on everything that they said as gospel, and I ended up sticking out that diet longer than was good for me to do so. So I had many unhealthy, negative symptoms that started to be induced within my body holistically on this diet, and a lot of signs from my body that the diet was not good for me. But due to me believing these raw food teachers left, right and center that have preached to me like absolute crazy, and I had just gone so deep into the rabbit hole, I just kept going further and further and further with the diet, and my health just kept going down and down and down. And the reason why I wanted to make this warning video is because I've had it happen to so many friends as well. I just interviewed someone the other day that completely destroyed her health and formed orthorexia, ended up with sarcopenia, depression, suicidal thoughts. She lost most of her muscle mass, or pretty much all of it, and she ended up at around 40 kilos in weight, and she ended up with so many different issues. And if you haven't seen that video, I talk about it up above. And she went through hell and back with that diet for the same reasons that I did. And what happens is, when you don't feel good on a raw food diet and you start to speak to certain raw food teachers out there, or start reading their books or speaking to other people that practice their diet, they would just say whatever negative issues are going on for you on that diet, it's nothing to do with the diet except for that it is really cleansing and detoxifying you so deep on a cellular level. So don't worry, just go and do a water fast, or go and do a green juice fast, or just eat one specific fruit for an extended period of time. And as long as you do that for a long enough period of time, those symptoms will start to go away. So what happens with the types of people that are on a raw food diet and start to run into many issues? They follow that advice. And guess what? Sometimes they get benefits, but a lot of time they don't, or they do get benefits, and then after a short while they end up with having more negative symptoms than they had in the first place before getting on one of these other types of cleansing things. So you just end up in this whole cycle of okay, I'm not feeling good, so then I do some more things for detoxification, and I just end up rinsing my body and draining it even more of so many nutrients that it's already low on. Because on this extremely restrictive clean eating disorder diet, most of the people that do a raw food diet, and I've seen people do this time and time again, tend to go on an 8-10-10 diet, or what some people would call a fruitarian diet. And if you don't know, there's a well-known YouTuber known as Raw Bliss. He's been eating fruit for a very, very long period of time and no foods whatsoever. And all we've seen with him is him go down and down and down and down a hill. Yet he is so far down the rabbit hole that he cannot see that it's not a good thing for him, and it's actually a malnourishing diet that is not sustainable and that is just breaking his body down. And I am just at a point where I just don't want to see any more people suffer from just going down the similar path that I have and many of my friends, because it is very, very dangerous. One of my friends actually got to a point where it almost completely destroyed her whole body. So I just want to hopefully awaken some people to the reality that, yeah, it is not necessarily the best diet long term. It can be good for some people short term. I cannot deny that whatsoever. But the amount of people that fail on this diet long term is so many of them. Yet when people tend to fail on this diet, which is not actually failing because it's just a diet that is not meeting all the nutritional needs, so inevitably they're going to fail on it. But the raw food teachers will say, well, actually it is a sustainable diet and you just did it wrong. You didn't cleanse enough, or you didn't restrict enough, or you did this wrong or that wrong or that wrong. They just want to blame anything but the diet, which is really, really dangerous. And so many people listen to these type of people. They're absolutely rife on YouTube, yet the majority of them necessarily tend to not look like the healthiest people, and a lot of them do have a lot of different health issues and symptoms going on, even if they say they don't. I used to have many fruitarian idols that I used to follow on YouTube, and then I moved from England to Thailand and started hanging around with a lot of them, the ones that seem to be thriving and the healthiest possible. But then from being around them, I started to discover they weren't as healthy as I thought. And they had a lot of different issues going on. But guess what? They weren't talking about that on their social media platforms. So you cannot always believe people that you do not know personally and spend time around. A lot of them are lying to your face and they know it. But guess what? They're just holding on to that idealistic diet, and their ego's holding on to that diet and that label, and so much of their identity is built around that, so they do not want to let go of that type of diet, and they're even willing to make their body go down into the ground and not tell people the truth, with them not thriving as well. So then you start to try this diet out, it starts to not work for you. After a period of time, you're like, it's working for them, so why is it not working for me? But like I said, they're not necessarily telling the truth. And yeah, you could maybe need to do some detoxification at some point in your life to get rid of some health issues or symptoms, because a build-up of toxicity in your body can definitely occur and happens to many people that has a negative effect on their health holistically. But the people on the raw food diet just take it to a whole new level with the detoxification. You're on a highly restricted diet, like I said, that's not meeting all your nutritional needs. And then when you do detoxification, well, guess what? You are eliminating a lot more nutrition from your body and not providing it with a lot of nutrition. And then you're already deficient, and then you're going to make yourself even more deficient. And that's why people just keep going down and downhill the longer that they do this. And most people that end up on this diet so long find it so hard to let go of this diet that it has to get to breaking point where they say, no, this is not working for me. I've tried so many different things to make it work, and I've got to a point where I'm just starting to realize that this is not working. And then that's when you start to get a lot of people question the diet. They start to take those raw vegan goggles off, and they start to listen to other certain people that are getting the results that they want and seem like they are thriving, and they're getting a lot of people thrive long term on what they are promoting and recommending with specific dietary advice and recommendations. And the thing that normally goes alongside that is these people, and I know this from interviewing many different ex-vegans recently that were raw foodists, that they start to listen more to their body and less to their head and things outside of themselves. So that's what I would recommend to anyone on any diet. If it's a raw food diet or any diet out there, stop listening to things outside of yourself and listen to yourself. Start eating the foods that make you feel good and make you thrive holistically and make you function to the best of your ability, so you can have an abundance of energy and do everything that you want to in this amazing human experience. So you also can have the best human experience that you can have. So yeah, I hope this really helps some people, because yeah, there's so many people, and I know so many of them still currently at the moment, especially ones in Thailand where I am, that are still eating this way, and they end up looking like Jack Skeleton in real life. And you see what they're doing? It's really not good for them, but they just keep grinding it out and out and out because they have this extreme clean eating disorder mentality going on, and they do not want to let go of it. But what I say is, if it's not working for you and you've been on the diet for quite a long time, even if it was giving you benefits at the start, I will not deny that whatsoever. That definitely happened for you. But if over a long period of time you find that you start to decline, and many things you try to do whilst on that diet is not getting to a point where you can thrive again, it's time to start questioning what you're doing with that diet and maybe try something else out, because you never know what might be around the corner. And this is what I did when I ended up switching to a carnivore diet after being vegan for around 6 years. I got to a point where I was not thriving at all, and my health went down rapidly for the last 3 months on my vegan journey. But I tried everything under the sun, this supplement, doing this detoxification thing, doing inner work for this and that and that and that. And I got to the point where I realized, no, it's the diet that is not working for me. So then I switched to a carnivore diet, which was absolutely profound. The amount of benefits I got was so long, and it was absolutely life-changing. If you want to hear about my 30-day experience with the carnivore diet, click the link up above and you can view the video where I talk about that in more detail. But yeah, I was just like, okay, this is not working for me anymore. I've been in a box for so long. I need to try something else because this is not working. I tried it out and wow, it worked so well for me. Yet you get many people out there that are not thriving on a raw food diet, for example, and they would just knock things like the carnivore diet to say, well, it's not good because saturated fat is bad for you and cholesterol is bad for you and fat as a whole, and it stops you detoxifying and this and that and that. Well, actually, how do you know if you haven't tested it out if it wouldn't work for you and give you loads of amazing benefits? That is all coming from your head, what I just mentioned with what those types of people would normally say when talking about a carnivore diet. It's about being an explorer and an experimenter and having your mind that is open to everything and attached to nothing. So give it a go. Try something else. Maybe try a carnivore diet, a keto diet, a paleo diet, but I would normally recommend that you try some sort of animal-based diet that you are actually eating a certain amount of different animal foods of the highest quality that you could possibly source, because they're going to be the cleanest for you, the most nutrient rich, and just the healthiest animal foods for you. And yeah, that is it for me and this video. Share this with any other raw vegans out there that you see that are destroying the health on the negative effect. Please share this on Facebook, on other social media platforms, so maybe other people can wake up to the reality of what I've said with the raw vegan diet causing eating disorders, where people will just keep grinding it out and going and going and going and do it to a point where they end up almost spontaneously combusting into the abyss because their body weight has gone so low. It's like, wow, where did they go? It's like, who are you? So yeah, leave your comments, questions down below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to receive a lot more videos from me like this on a regular basis. So as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.